Did you know that thousands of years ago, the ancient Egyptians might have had electricity? Not fire, not torches, but something that looks exactly like giant light bulbs carved into their temples. Add to that mummies with prosthetics, surgeries before modern medicine, and carvings that look like helicopters. And suddenly, history doesn't look the same anymore. Today, I'll show you 5 shocking facts about ancient Egypt that will blow your mind. Fact 1. Did Egypt have electricity? The mystery of Dendera. In the Temple of Hathor in Dendera, archaeologists discovered mysterious carvings. They show elongated objects with a snake running inside and a man standing next to them holding the object with both hands. At first glance, they look exactly like giant light bulbs with cables. Coincidence? Or did the Egyptians actually know something about electricity? Mainstream historians claim these are just symbolic images. The snake represents the force of life, and the object is a lotus flower. But why then does it look so much like an electric lamp with a socket and wire? And here's the strangest part. In the tombs and corridors of temples, archaeologists never found soot from torches. So how did they illuminate those spaces? There's still no answer. Maybe it's just fantasy. But when you see these carvings with your own eyes, it's hard not to feel like you're staring at an ancient blueprint, not a myth. Fact 2. Prosthetics and surgery. 3,000 years ago. When we think about ancient medicine, we imagine herbs, rituals, and primitive tools, but the discoveries in Egypt tell a very different story. One of the most astonishing finds is the mummy of a woman with an artificial toe. The prosthetic was so well designed that she could walk in sandals and even use it comfortably during her lifetime. Archaeologists also discovered dental bridges, healed fractures, and even evidence of amputations. Ancient medical papyri describe surgical procedures for wounds, tumor removals, and even eye operations. This means that Egyptian medicine was more than 1,500 years ahead of its time. But here's the big question. How could they have such advanced knowledge without microscopes, modern science, or advanced tools? Did they inherit this wisdom from someone else? Fact 3. The helicopters of Abydos. In the Temple of Seti I at Abydos, there is a mysterious carving that has stunned researchers for decades. On the ceiling, you can clearly see shapes that resemble a helicopter, a tank, and even a submarine. Mainstream archaeologists explain this as a palimpsest. Old hieroglyphs were carved over with new ones, and over time the symbols merged into strange outlines. But for many, this looks far too accurate to be just coincidence. Could this be a memory of advanced technology, or perhaps a coded message left by the priests? Egyptians never carved anything without meaning. And when you look at this carving yourself, it's hard to believe it's just the random work of time. Fact 4. The salt mummy that changed history. In 2010, archaeologists made a discovery that shocked the scientific world. They found a mummy preserved with a unique mixture of salt and resin. When scientists analyzed it, they realized this body was older than all other known mummies by more than 1,500 years. This means the Egyptians practiced mummification long before historians believed it even existed. What's even stranger is that the method itself was completely different, using materials not seen in later embalming practices. So where did this knowledge come from, and why did it disappear for centuries, only to return later? Some believe it was just an isolated experiment. Others think it's evidence of lost knowledge, inherited from an even earlier civilization. The salt mummy doesn't just raise questions, it completely rewrites the timeline of Egyptian history. Fact 5. The stone-cutting mystery. The pyramids, temples, and obelisks of Egypt were built from granite and basalt, some of the hardest stones on Earth. But the most incredible part is the precision. Some blocks are so perfectly cut and fitted that not even a razor blade can slide between them. and many of these blocks weigh hundreds of tons. On the surface of some stones, there are marks that look less like the work of primitive chisels and more like modern machines. Mainstream theories suggest that Egyptians used bronze saws with sand as an abrasive, but try cutting a 200-ton block of granite that way. It would take decades. Some researchers believe these marks show evidence of lost technology, something beyond what we think the ancient world possessed. After all, granite requires tools harder than diamond to cut with such accuracy. When you stand before the temples of Abu Simbel or the massive sarcophagi of the Serapeum, it's hard to believe this was achieved with simple tools and manpower. What if the Egyptians knew something that we have lost?
We like to think that history is well understood, that the past is neatly written in books, but the truth is very different. The dendera, light bulbs, the mysterious helicopters of Abydos, the salt mummy, the advanced prosthetics, and the impossible stone-cutting techniques. All of these show us that ancient Egypt still hides more secrets than answers. Were the Egyptians guardians of a forgotten science? Or did they achieve something far beyond what we imagine was possible thousands of years ago? Mainstream historians offer their explanations, while alternative researchers suggest their own. But the real truth may lie somewhere in between. One thing is certain, the mysteries of Egypt are far from solved, and every discovery only brings new questions. Which of these facts shocked you the most? Write in the comments, hit like, and subscribe to the channel, because the next mysteries are already waiting for us.